So relative to these boat bombings, these boat strikes off the coast of Venezuela that we've all been talking about this week, a couple points right out of the gate, and then I'm going to talk about an article in today's Washington Post about the response of a Colombian man who was killed in one of these boat strikes. The Trump administration, Pete Hegseth, Carolyn Levitt, everybody in the administration just expects us to take their word for it that all of the people that they have killed, and it's upwards of 80, over 20 or 25 separate strikes, are narcotics traffickers, cartel members who were bringing drugs to the United States. In the very first strike, I think it happened on September 2nd, it was basically a small fishing boat that had 11 people on it. When cartels are transporting drugs, they don't put 11 people on the boat with the drugs. They put 2 or 3. They certainly don't put 11. But the administration is just expecting us to take their word for it. There were 2 survivors of one of these strikes who were apprehended by American military, and they were released. So the Trump administration expects us to believe that they have enough evidence to justify killing every single one of these alleged drug traffickers, but not enough evidence to bring them back to the United States and put them on trial in an American court. So they released them. Didn't apprehend them, didn't bring them back, didn't extradite them, didn't charge them, didn't put them on trial here in the States. But we're happy to kill them. And now, and bear in mind, also think back and remember to this past March, that one flight that did take off from the DC area and flew to El Salvador with something like 260 young Venezuelan men who were supposedly, every single one of them was supposedly a member of Tren de Aragua, a violent Venezuelan street gang. None of them were. None of them were. 85% of the young men on that plane had no criminal record whatsoever. Men like Kilmar Abrego Garcia, men like the young man who was a makeup artist and a hairdresser, Andre Jose Romero Hernandez. I may have mixed up those last 2 surnames. They were not members of Tren de Aragua. They were not gang members. They were not violent criminals. And those young men on that plane were subjected to torture and physical abuse and sexual abuse for 4 months inside that prison before they were released. The Trump administration expected us to take their word on that too. And now from today's Washington Post, the family of a Colombian man killed in U.S. boat strikes has filed a formal complaint. The family of Alejandro Andres Karanzsa Medina alleges that the Trump administration has committed human rights violations in its campaign against suspected drug trafficking. Reading from the article. The family of a Colombian man killed in a U.S. strike on a boat in the Caribbean filed a complaint Tuesday with the Interamerican Commission on Human Rights, alleging that the United States committed human rights violations in an extrajudicial killing. The man who was killed, Alejandro Andres Karanzsa Medina, was a 42-year-old fisherman, and he was poor, and his family is poor. He's not some cartel member carrying a solid gold AK-47. He was killed in a September 15th U.S. military strike off of the Colombian coast, according to the filing. The complaint was filed by Karanzsa's wife and 4 children. Their lawyer, Daniel Kavalik, said in a phone interview that the grieving family had been left without their chief breadwinner and were facing threats after speaking publicly about the case. Their world has been turned upside down, said Kavalik. He was a fisherman in his 40s. According to the family, he had no ties to any cartel and was not a drug trafficker. We're killing fishermen.